All right, thank you for joining. Today we'll go over XRP USDT on the Binance chart. Like always, keeping things very straightforward, right? So starting from this very big wick we had down here, we can see that it's obviously been traded through and traded back above. So any liquidity that was sitting below this low has been swept. We've been just range bound since February, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what else we have going on here. So as you can see, as I enlarge this, we've just been range bound. So we went ahead and marked out last month's high at around $1.60, last month's low at around $1.29. Since then, we have only traded back up to about the equilibrium of last month's range. And we're just staying there right now. So this area is very strong resistance. If we go ahead and put on the, let's see here, put 25, it's pretty close to it. But let's go ahead and put on the fib. But what I want to do is actually reverse this really quick. So if I pull from the top to the bottom, put on the 618, 655 golden pocket, you can see it hit that area exactly. So a very technical level, which also lined up with a 4-hour demand zone. And you can see we had a nice rejection. Now price is starting to go back up on XRP, but we're still stalling out at the 50% or equilibrium of last month, right? So last month's EQ. So the way how this is looking, I would think we might get another push to the downside just because we do have some equal lows coming in right about here. Excuse me. So this is actually a daily low, right? We're on a daily chart. So we have a daily low here. We have a swing low here on a daily. Front ran this level, impulse higher, and we're just selling off a little bit here, right? So we have more wicks to the upside than the downside, just letting me know that there are some sellers stepping in, or the algorithm is switching to a sell side delivery, probably targeting these lows here. And I'm saying it's equal lows because if I go onto the 4-hour, you'll see, right? You had a swing low here, price came down, pretty much equal lows there, right? Relative equal lows, impulse higher, and now we had a nice rejection on the 4-hour. So going off what I'm seeing here, if we're just zooming into the 4-hour chart here, which is one of my favorite charts to stay on, we can see that XRP took out yesterday's high, right? Failed to stay above, so that's a confirmed failed auction. Closed a 4-hour candle back inside. And the next area to target would for sure be yesterday's low, which comes in at $1.41. And if we get some more sellers to step in, the next best target would be $1.39, right? Now that would be about, let's see how far down, about 2% down to yesterday's low, and roughly about 3% down to the next best target there. So based on what I'm looking and seeing here on XRP, after hitting a very big resistance, you can see the massive sell side candle, right? Bearish candle, which showed up. And you can also go ahead and pull this 4-hour for fair value gap here. And you can see how price rejected from this 4-hour fair value gap, right? You can see price tapped it twice, rejected, sold off. So yes, in my opinion, what I would be looking for are shorts on XRP after hitting a very technical level, showing massive selling pressure coming in, changing the state of delivery, price then grinded back up to the upside, rejected once again, which looks like it rejected right on the 786 or the golden pocket, so right at that area, right? Another very technical zone, and just looks like it wants to seek liquidity to the downside. And this might tie in with what Bitcoin looks like. We could look at that in a second, but for right now, XRP is looking a little bit bearish. And if you wanted additional confirmation, you can draw your trend lines. And if we get a push down here and we break this trend line to the downside, then it's even more confirmed bearish, and for sure at least targeting $1.39. And who knows, maybe we could hold it all the way to $1.35. But for now, XRP is looking bearish once again. Had a nice rejection. The overall trend is still to the upside though, so we need to look out for bearish price action, and this might just be the next bearish price action happening, a lower high to then take out this low and make a lower low, right? So we just have to see how this plays out over the next few days here. I do like the 4 hour because it just shows a lot of the data that you might miss when looking at a 1 hour or 30-minute. Even with what you might miss looking at the daily, right? Daily and weekly charts, the good thing about them is that they do give you an overall picture, right? So looking at the weekly chart, we can see we had a swing low here on XRP, bullish candle. I think I said last week that I would be expecting this week to be bullish as well. You can see we just opened and went straight up. So it's very rare that you don't get a wick to the downside. So what that's leading me to believe, just looking off the XRP chart, is that I would actually assume at some point this week, today's already Wednesday, so maybe tomorrow, a lot of selling might come in, which might make this week end red, creating a bottom wick to the downside. So Thursday or Friday might get really bearish here for crypto for a little bit, or at least for XRP. If not, then yes, the bullish one-time framing weekly uptrend could continue, targeting at least this monthly high at $1.60. So if the bullish price action continues, my target will be 12 cents away at $1.60 for XRP. So once again, if the bullish market structure and price action continues, I would be looking at $1.60 as the target, just because this is a very nice rounding bottom coming in on XRP. So if anything, I would at least expect to get some sort of a push, right? If we can get up to this 50% mark here, that would be amazing. Right in between this weekly fair value gap at around $1.75. And then that's where we can possibly get some selling pressure to come in, to push price down even further, right? So that would be my overall target before looking for shorts, is around $1.75 first, but with the best area looking like it's coming in at around $1.90 something cents. If we get $2, even better, psychological level, which also lines up with the inverted fair value gap right around that level as well, right? So a couple key areas to keep in mind, and we're gonna see how this just plays out here over the next few weeks. You know, weekly charts take a very long time to play out, but when they do play out, they can bring in a lot of momentum. And yes, it is interesting that this weekly fair value gap lines up with this swing high right here too as well. So a couple areas to keep an eye on for a short, a potential short. All right, let's go ahead and put SFP daily. All right, so a couple areas there. And then locally, yeah, it just looks like it's just higher highs, higher lows on the daily. Might continue up. Looking at the 4 hour, short trades are working out right now, but who knows? We might just come down, tap this level. Hold on a second here. Yeah, so we might just come down, tap this level, and then continue moving to the upside, right? That is a possibility. But like I said, if we do break this low, first target is yesterday's low at around 141, and then the next target will be 139. Final target 135. 135. So we try to keep things very simple, trade things level to level. And even if I just go back here and show you exactly what I mean, right? I'm keeping this on there. Let's go to the daily. All right. So the current daily range, I can actually probably hide all of this. All right, so just to keep things extremely simple here for a lot of people when charting, it's the easiest thing to do, right? You look for your swing highs and look for your swing lows for XRP. There is a swing high here on the daily. There is a swing low right here on the daily, right? Now we're in a daily range, right? We can tell that we did currently take out a previous swing high. So after taking out that swing high, naturally the next best thing to do is to try to take out the next closest swing low, right? So the next closest swing low would have been right down here. And some people may say, oh, you know, it doesn't look like we're going to get there. But if we do get bearish, this will be the next closest target. After this target, this will be the next closest target, right? So let me go ahead and just start over again, right? So looking at the daily chart, you have your swing high and current swing low. This is your daily range for XRP, right? Looking back, you can see it just took out a previous swing high, so things got a little bit bearish. After taking out this swing high, your next target should have been at least $1.35. So we can see another swing low has been made at this bullish order block, causing price to go up. So now we're in another range, right? So with this range, what we can assume is, okay, where is the next biggest target? If we're going to continue to the upside, then the next target for sure will be $1.50. But if we're going to go into at least a 4 hour, we can go ahead and see if there's anything else going on, which could at least give us a framework to take a look at. So rejected, failed auction. As you can see, very clean actually on a 4 hour. Extremely clean. Price action. Let's see if I can get this, right? So you can see here, when looking at XRP, this swing high was taken out. You can see price stopped exactly at that swing high, came down, impulse higher, fair value gap created. Price tried to stay above, failed auction, came back down and seeked lower prices. Where did it go? Right to this swing low right here, right? Took it out, bounced higher. Next target would have been the previous swing high, which was right here. Went ahead and took this out. And now we're back inside. So now that we're back inside, when looking at XRP, we can see that, right, price came up, took out that major high, failed auction, came down, created a swing high, into the fair value gap, came down, took out this low, came back up, took out this high, came down, took out the swing low here, impulse higher, took out the high one more time, right? Couldn't quite get back up here, and now we're selling off again. So what do we target? The next swing low. So the next closest target for XRP, for sure, in my opinion, is going to have to be $1.41. And if Bitcoin starts to sell off a little bit after pumping this much, then $1.41 is for sure the next closest target. And then you'd also target 139 afterwards. So this is one of the best ways just to chart. Maybe it sounds a little bit confusing, but it's one of the best ways to just make sure you're always on the right side of the market. And you're always trying to enter after liquidity was taken, because after liquidity was taken, price typically tries to seek liquidity on the opposite side of the range, right? And to make things easier for you, just stick to a higher time frame like the daily. Happens all the time. Or week. Yeah, daily, weekly, or even just a 4 hour. 4 hour is the best one in my opinion. You get plenty of trades. Yeah, you're not going to always get them, but short the highs, stop loss above the wicks, aim for the opposite side, and yeah, sometimes you'll get there. So for the people watching me through the screen, not on their phone, you can see here, look, this is a perfect example here, right? Price came down. Let's just say you wanted to start we could even do it this way, right? Just so we can be realistic here, right? Just say we had no idea what was going on. You saw this happen, boom, 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 boom. Price comes down. You said, okay, I'm going to wait until price takes out this low. Price takes out the low. Then you'll say, okay, I'm going to go long, aim for this swing high. Would you have gotten that swing high? Nope, you would have got stopped out, right? That's fine. So you get stopped out. Where to next? You go ahead and you realize that's the new low. Price swept the low, comes back above. You enter on the close, stop loss below the low. You're going to target this high here. Keep on going. You don't get there yet. Don't get there. Still don't get there. You actually get stopped out again. Actually, you should have targeted this high because this was the closest swing high. So you would have took profit there. Let's just say you go ahead and do the same thing over again. This is your next new high. You see price getting weak. You go short. Stop loss above the high. All right. One of the best things to do right here. You go short, stop loss above the high, aim for the lows, or at least, you know, you could even aim for the, in my opinion, if you aim for the closes, you'll get a lot higher success rate than trying to aim for wicks. So candle close, lowest candle close, aim for the candle close, took profit right there, perfect. Price didn't sweep these lows yet, so no trade. You're out. Price kind of got above there. If you're super aggressive, maybe you could have took that trade. Would have worked out well. Once again, you aim for the closes, the candle closes, right? Which is just like toggling this on. You aim for the low right here. All right. You'd have got taken profit. You would have waited for this to get swept again, this level right here. So this level gets swept, close above, you go long. Right? Now you're aiming for these highs, maybe even this high. But if you want to be a little bit more conservative, you're aiming for these highs. You're now long, you're now long. You would have technically gotten stopped out if you gave yourself a little bit more room. You'd have not got wigged out, but now you're in the trade still, or maybe you just entered a new trade. You aim for the highs, still nothing there, boom. Take profit hit. Now same thing. Highs are taken, even this high was taken, right? But since this was the closest one, let's go off that. That's what price reacted from. Failed auction, you go short, stop loss above the high. And then you're aiming for these lows, right? So now these are your next new target. Keep going, you're still in the trade. Did you get stopped out here? Very close, did not get stopped out yet. And then now you get stopped out. But a lot of times, if you just use the right risk management, enter off of after lows have been taken or highs have been taken, a lot of times you end up being on the right side of the trade, just the way how the market works. You then aim for this high, and yeah, maybe you would have gotten you wouldn't have got this take profit, right? Because you're going for the swings. But let's see here, or maybe you would have hit a take profits one, right? Because realistically, you want to try to take profit at least at the 50%, like take profit one, right? At least at the 50%, and then you move your stop loss to entry. But if you're entering here, this isn't really much to play off of, right? So then maybe you at least wait until it gets to 75%, which it pretty much does get there. It hits there exactly. Take profit. You probably missed this move up, and then now we are up here, right? Just took out this high. Failed auction, same thing. Get in the short, took out these highs too as well. Failed auction. Next best thing to do is aim for these lows right here for XRP, $1.41. So I know there's a lot going on my chart, but being patient, waiting for levels to be tested, and then going long with the proper risk management, targeting the highest or lowest candle close of that range, will probably net you a lot more results than going to the end of the wicks, right? So yeah, we just have to see how this plays out. XRP looking a little bit bearish right now, but overall on the weekly it is looking bullish. So let's just see if we get a little internal liquidity grab, which I think is exactly what might be playing out here, before continuing to the upside. So thank you for joining. Remember to like and subscribe. Take care, and until next time.